It is a tough year. It's a tough year for business. It's a tough year for sport. It's a tough year for humankind, and then, our team that has, such significance and creates such hope, and for us to be in a situation where at the last minute, we're looking for a title partner is pretty sad. We've come a long road with Dimension Data and with NTT, and for them to make a call so late in the year, it gives us very little chance to find a replacement. But, the amount of goodwill and messages of support and, the relevance of our team across the world and the feedback that we've got on social channels has been just phenomenal. And it gives me, a massive amount of hope, and there's a lot of interest, which is great. I mean, we have nothing final yet, but, we hope that something will come through in the very short term, in the next few weeks. Walking a journey with Quebec for 10 years has been, hugely inspirational on the team side, and of course in the communities and the people that we've impacted and that have got the pleasure of being able to have some freedom and hope and mobility on bicycles. So that's amazing, and it is. We played a significant role in 100,000 or over 100,000 bicycles that have been distributed. Our team's continuity, is critical to Quebec continuing on its incredible journey, and I think that's because we're such a significant part of it, and our relationship is so tight and so close. And as you say, 10 years together. It's part of our DNA. It's something that we believe in passionately and will continue to, for sure. So it's critical, it's a critical piece of our value proposition and of creating mobility and hope for people in South Africa and across Africa.
Results do play a huge role in keeping a sponsor, because the sport itself is millions and millions of dollars. So it's not a cheap sport.
And results are important, there's no question. But we're a good team, and in sports and in cycling, as you know, there's so many things that can go wrong. It's not, look at Ineos with the biggest budget in cycling, and look what happened to them in the Tour de France. And now look at Geraint Thomas, having an accident in the Giro d'Italia. I mean, we lying fourth in the Giro d'Italia. We're a team that, it takes its opportunities in races as well. And so for sure, we've had some, challenges in the Tour de France this year. Giacomo Nizzolo and Pozzovivo, being involved in incidents in the first weekend, and they were our star guys, for this year's Tour de France. This year, one of our big focuses was to try and win races and to get back that winning feeling and that united, one team's, strategy. And we've done well. I mean, even Giacomo Nizzolo winning already our first World Tour race in Australia, Tour Down Under, was a great start. And then we just continued that momentum. And then, of course, we had the pandemic, and, then we went offline and then on the virtual platform, and we go and win the virtual Tour de France. Well, that was a big deal, So it just shows we've taken that platform really seriously, and we worked really hard and wanted to add a lot of value there. And it was all around points and a strong team. You didn't have to win the individual entities, but a strong team gave you that opportunity to collect the points and then to win overall. And so it actually, even though we'd never been so far apart as an organization and as a team, we'd never felt so close together, because it was a team event, and we were all virtual, and we all did some cool things, and we loved it. And then we came together in the final weekend at our training camp in Tuscany, where the whole team was together, all riding next to each other on these virtual screens, and it just was the most incredible experience. And then, coming to the Tour de France, we had high hopes. Giacomo Nizzolo had just won the Italian national championships, the European championships. I mean, Italy is one of the hardest national titles to win. There's so many Italian riders, and he goes and wins it. So we want such a high. And then, Nice and the rain and the first weekend of the tour, the incidents, and just knocked us off our perch a little bit. But it just shows, Domenico Pozzovivo now, the first Italian rider so far in the Giro d'Italia. Nibali is behind him, Grand Tour winner. And we fourth overall, into the first race day, which is great. And, it's nice to see Emmanuel and Louis, they had some stomach issues in the week, and so they kind of dropped down a little bit, but they're back again, and they're riding really in support of Domenico Pozzovivo. And it takes a lot of effort to try and keep someone in the in the Grand Tour contention, and the Giro d'Italia is wide open. As you saw, Geraint Thomas and Ineos were going for the overall victory there, and he crashed in a neutral zone over a bidon. And that's the sport, it's not all about money. It's about, stuff happens. And I think that's the beauty of our sport, because the engine sits inside. It doesn't sit, in a vehicle, or, it sits inside you. And I think that's the beautiful thing about our sport, is that anything is possible.
As we wrap it up, Doug, what are you looking for in the new sponsor? I mean, obviously beggars can't be choosers per se, but obviously there are checks and balances that you would like to come in with and carry over from what you've started over more than a decade ago. The new sponsor, what we're looking at?
Well, it's any industry ultimately that has the passion and loves an organization that's purpose-led. I mean, we have such depth and there's such goodwill around our team, and we've got such depth in terms of our purpose and what we race for and why we race. I think that's something that is any organization could be proud to put their brand on, and from an employee morale point of view, and just being an organization that cares about the world, which is really struggling today, and just humanity in general. So come, pick up the phone, get in touch with us. We'll make you proud.
Thabiso and Mr. Ryder, thank you very much indeed for that. Well, it's